smoke. VP versus T1 in this best of one, or first game of the best of three, I should say. And this is going to be a hype matchup. Obviously, T1 playing extremely well at the major. VP had high hopes, but did not do well, but they are doing extremely well in this tournament, Mr. Jenkins.
Yeah, I think both of these teams looks better than when they played at the major, and for T1 that's kind of insane because you know, they obviously did incredibly well at the major. VP not so much. They were one of the playoff teams that got knocked out, but I think people had really high expectations, and they seem to be performing at like I don't know, some 150% of what they were at the major, which is great to see.
Do you agree with the assessment that from VP's perspective, it was more of like these LAN jitters? I mean, they do have some young players on their team. I think the oldest was 21, I want to
something
say.
like that. Yeah,
pretty freaking young.
That's like dinosaur age, grandpa level stuff right there.
Yeah, pretty much. As we're going to see boundary runes taken. Looks like it's going to be an even split. But yeah, what do you think that's overrated? The idea of that?
I think that's a legit. I don't want to say excuse because I feel like there's been a lot of excuses made for players these days. People are, you know, their favorite teams, and they, you know, often when they lose, it's like, you know, jitters. But they said it themselves, VP. And having played at a single LAN, the other one, you were there. I can say that it's a very different environment in my expertise.
Yeah, that WCA performance by the great Leviathan, where you, I believe, got into the next stage because there was a team missing from action.
The flight got canceled.
Oh, that's what it was.
So Newbie could not show up, and we made it out of the group stages, which was very good for us.
Just the highlight of your career.
Yeah.
As we see GPK versus Carl in the mid lane. Okay, Razor versus Viper. Viper this year that we've seen. I mean, both heroes really kind of serve in a similar role in terms of the draft where you pick it up and you don't exactly know what position they are. As we're going to see Whitemon end up dropping here. So DM getting the first blood overall. But we can talk about this mid matchup, Razor versus Viper. Tell me about it.
I think Viper is pretty comfortable in almost any matchup because you just push the lane with his W. You're going to be fine no matter what. But Razor, if Viper does step too far up, does so much physical damage that it's one of the few heroes that can kill the Viper through his passive if you're not careful.
You see the static link come out here for GPK, but didn't last too long. And, okay, in terms of the carries, Monkey King, not a hero we get to see all too often these days. After a couple of nerfs, I guess you could say, in the past couple patches, versus PL, who, I mean, the biggest nerf to him was essentially the shard tweak in the last, I think it was 2 patches ago at this point.
I think that's pretty relevant in this game, though, that shard nerf, because if you look at T1's lineup, Monkey King does really well against PL because you drop the Wukong's command, and you have a Maelstrom, you just clear through the illusions really easily. You have Phoenix, who does a ton of magical damage with the Sunray, and then Leshrac, who is arguably one of the best illusion counters in the entire game with his Pulse Nova. So it's a really hard PL game. He's going to have to play with the Shard, using those illusions from afar, because if he walks into the fight, he's going to feed to these heroes. And with that thing being nerfed, it's, you know, it's not so good to have to play that play style in a game. You'd much rather play the kind of classic PL, tanking up, going for the Shard out of, you know, convenience because it's decent, but not playing entirely around it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think from 23 Savage, his perspective, the Monkey King, I mean, one of the nerfs that was made to him quite a while ago was the Aghanim Scepter. The Roche doesn't work on him anymore, which was a big, I would say that was a pretty big reason for picking the hero. Literally can solo at some point in the game.
I mean, it made him Ursa. Like, half the reason Ursa is a strong hero is because of the Roche potential. Same with Troll Warlord. And Monkey King can do that solo as well. And you can jump into the pit, right? So that made it even better because you couldn't see a Monkey King on the trees jumping into the pit. He's out of vision.
All right, what are your thoughts in terms of the lineups between the two teams here? T1, we talked about the good team fight for them, but I feel like the disengage with Stampede, I mean, T1 doesn't have a ton of catch. Like, you have the egg, you have the arena, but nothing really to truly lock them down inside.
That's a good call. I think the Centaur is a factor in this game that VP is really comfortable with, because and I you know, it's good for them because I think the rest of T1's draft kind of counters some of these other VP heroes. So, you know, the Winter Wyvern Cold Embrace is not so good in this game because Viper, Leshrac, like literally every single one of these T1 heroes will put something on that Cold Embrace that's not going to be good for the Wyvern. And then you have all the illusion killers versus the PL as the hero that wants to carry the game. So the disengage and playing from far with the ether lens on PL is going to be really important in this game for VP.
So you are expecting that ether lens?
I think you have to.
Shard build.
I think you have to.
The BSJ special, in other words.
Yes, of course. He likes losing pubs with very bad builds.
Okay, well, you're
now
calling
it's
it
good. Now it's good.
Oh, now it's good.
Yeah.
I see. Even after the nerf. To
Yeah,
the
and
shard.
he doesn't build it now that it's good. Because
Well, he's just a hipster. That's all
Exactly.
there is to it. Okay.
yeah.
I understand that to some respect. Okay, well, early on, we see the PL 25-6 versus the Monkey King 23-10. So overall, I mean, obviously the Deny going more in 23 Savage's favor, but pretty much a wash in that department. Anything to look out for in terms of farm from the offlaner's perspective? Like how well they're doing right now?
They're both doing okay. I mean, I don't think there's any like crazy timing from either of these heroes that's important. There's some setup from the Wyvern, so you don't really need the blink on Centaur. Vanguard's not all that good. Like the offlaners are... It's a tough game for both of the offlaners, I think. Leshrac can die really easily to this, to Razor. It's one of the highest win rate heroes versus Leshrac because you want to man up and get in there as Lesh, and Razor absolutely favors that. So it's pretty typical you see offlaners in games where it's not so good. They get early phased.
Yeah, and this from DM side, I know I say this every game. That's not true. I don't say it every game, but I do mention it a lot. This is an Aghanim Scepter game on Centaur.
Oh my God, you do
I know
mention
that you're
that
smiling. I see you
every
smiling. Are you saying that's incorrect? This is a god tier Stampede upgrade.
Why?
Especially for this game. The
Aren't you
disengage.
just running away anyway?
Yeah, but it's an extra second on Stampede in case the Nyx has his Aghanim Scepter. You're locking people down a little bit there.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And the damage reduction. I mean, Wukong's command maybe doesn't scare you as much if you're taking 40% less damage.
Eventually. See, my argument here. My argument for the...
Incorrect.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. My argument for the Centaur not getting the Aghanim Scepter is that I think that it's a really tough PL game to have all of the weight on his shoulders to carry the game. And so Razor and Centaur are going to need to be doing a little bit more of the carrying. And so I think some sort of, heart...
Really?
Yeah, some build like typical Centaur build, but playing more around being tanky, frontlining, and maybe doing a little bit of damage.
I like that as GP Gay. Oh, he's actually going to
nice
dodge the Impale. Nicely done, and that's going to prevent a kill. But Carl has that haste rune getting blocked by the creep. Not going to be able to find the kill that he was looking for. As you can see the ward spotting out for GPK, so a nice stutter step there in the fog.
That is honestly classic Carl to just run in and like, the stun is missed and he still wants to go for it too. Like, I mean, this guy.
It's worked out pretty well for him overall. As you can see the
has.
gank potential now from Save. Only level 3 right now. Takes the Viper Strike. That is a spell to fear if you're an Enchantress, that's for sure. Double Impale from Zephyr. They're going to try to turn this around to get 2 kills. They will do so successfully, but Carl does fall in the end. But again, the XP going the way of T1 for the most part.
Yeah, really great turn from T1 there. Just basically recognizing that like where VP were in the river, it's going to favor the Viper. Like you get locked in there against the Viper slow, you're never going to get out unless you die. And so VP thought that because they had 2 supports there, it's like, oh, this Viper, he's the one trapped in the river. But really, they were trapped in the river with him because T1 also had their supports there.
Yeah, and I have to say, obviously, when we come from different regions where we did NA, a lot of the other talent at the major did other regions, and we get to see this, cross-regional play overall. We don't get to see a lot of these players play on a consistent basis. Zephyr on Nyx specifically at the major and this tournament so far has been, I think, a standout performance. He has been absolute god tier.
And he makes it look like it's impossible to not hit double stuns.
Yeah.
Legitimately. I remember watching him and thinking like, man, is Nyx just way better on LAN? Like, what the hell is it?
I mean, it's not truly LAN, right? It's still technically on the
No,
internet.
I just meant at the major.
We're going to see the Wukong's command. Oh, tried to dodge that there with the mischief, but in the end, we'll be disengaging here from VP's side. 23 Savage extremely low. They can't finish him off. Save will die, though, to Zephyr as we were just praising him here. Looking for another stun potential onto Kingslayer on the run. Cuckoo gets the Lightning Storm off. Split Earth will not connect, though. Still no Impale for another second, so looks like he'll get out just fine. Looking for the high ground potential here, but Zephyr feels a tingling there. He is a spider after all. Well, it's close enough. It's a bug.
He's not a spider.
Spiders aren't bugs either.
He's a cockroach. Do you know cockroaches are just as smart as dogs? I don't know if that says it's something about the cockroach intelligence or how dumb dogs are.
I did not know that. I'm just going to choose not to believe it because that creature really scares me.
Dogs?
Yep, that's the one. Nightfall in the jungle now. We can see he's working on the Diffusal Blade. Not too big of a surprise overall. VP's side. They will smoke out. And we'll see where they want to go with this. They're in the bottom area of the map, but not sure they're going to find... I mean, 23 Savage is down here, but he is on the tree. And, yeah, using the tree dance to
They
get away to
scanned
safety.
it. Yeah, they knew that this was going to be a triangle smoke. Just
Okay.
really good game sense from them. That was a sick scan.
And that's going to prevent any kills coming away from VP's side. So well played from T1 overall. As we see a little jungle stack being taken out by DM and GPK on the other side doing the same. GPK looking for the BKB as the... Is that actually the first item? Yeah. What are your thoughts on GPK first item BKB?
Straight BKB?
Yeah.
I think there are certain games where one hero needs to build it, and Razor in particular is the type of hero that you never lack damage.
Oh boy. Yeah, they're going to find a kill here. Viper Strike is there. Stampede, okay. Does get him out of harm's way for now, but with the Sunray, T1 with 4 members up here secure themselves another kill.
It's crazy. Even with a hood, he dies. And Cuckoo just rotating with that max edict. This is the annoying thing about offlane the Shrek is that you can do little plays like that sitting in the trees, and you're not wasting your time because, let's be real, if you're an offlaner, your time's pretty worthless anyway compared to
Yep, this is true. 23 Savage going to get the Wukong's command, but it's going to be a full static link applied to him with the Arctic Burn on the side. But with reinforcements from T1, I think VP is going to disengage as well. But they do get a big cooldown there for the Monkey King.
That's cool that he just kind of used it for the armor on the ring, and GPK not having the ulti available means that there's no way to shred through that armor. So even though he got a really good static link off, it's only level 2, and the armor meant that it did kind of deceptively low damage.
Yeah, but let's go back to this GPK first item BKB because, I mean, I'm not saying BKB is bad necessarily, but first item is not something we see all too often, I want to say.
I'm just going to say Razor, to me, is like the single most hero where if you don't have a BKB at the right time, the rest of your game is just worthless. You fall off so goddamn hard.
Oh, boy. Yep, Zephyr gets off that Vendetta, and with Whitemon's help, able to take out Save.
Dude, these supports are just everywhere for T1.
They've been playing so well.
Every single kill they're involved with. Literally. Look, 1-0-4. That's nuts.
Yeah, Zephyr doing work, that's for sure. Carl has the Boots of Travel as the offlane Viper, so a bit of a greedy build. And going for the Dragon Lance as well.
Offlane.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he was the mid.
I still think
so often Viper is the offlane. That's true.
I still think the offlane Viper bots is really good. Just depends on the game. And Carl, Kugu's building into some pretty supporty items with the Yule Scepter. Didn't go for the hood this game, though. Doesn't feel like he needs it, because there's not really that much magical damage on VP, so
yeah,
it does make sense.
Yeah, Diffusal now online. I mean, what are the timings for these lineups, you think? Does one team want to play a little bit more aggressively than the other?
I think you definitely, if you're VP, you really want to do something around this Diffusal timing, because you don't want to go late game against all of these illusion killers.
Yeah, we might have a fight here, though. GPK taking a little harassment. Cuckoo, in the meantime, putting himself in harm's way with that Tier 1 tower in tow. Zephyr gets brought down by GPK. Finally, the reign of Nyx Assassin comes to an end. It's going to cost them Cuckoo as well, as we see the Winter's Curse onto Whitemon. Doesn't have dive, does have egg, but obviously they would have killed it anyway. So nice 3-kill setup here for VP.
Yeah, we're seeing just how strong this Centaur ulti is right now. Like, for every reason that you mentioned, like, T1 commits like this, and you can either use it to get in there and kill Cuckoo, who's like literally tanking the tower with absolutely no effective HP, or you can use it to get out. Like, you can pick and choose your fights really easily right now for VP, and that one just looked really good to get in.
Yeah, and DM is about to pick up a Blink Dagger, so Centaur initiation will be online as well. Zephyr trying to find Kingslayer here, has the Vendetta, gets it off with the Impale, and with Carl's help. Now, it's going to be slowed down a bit by this Cold Embrace, but they'll give this to Carl in all likelihood.
They've really
the Tier 1 tower.
that hero, the Wyvern, for T1. Like, all of these heroes, if you're Cold Embracing in front of a Viper, it's like he's just so happy that you did that.
Yeah,
you just get
for
5
sure.
stacks instantly.
Yeah. 23 Savage gets off his Wukong's command. That's going to help set up another kill for VP. Or for Tier 1, or T1. Tier 1. Well, they are Tier 1.
And they defended the Tier 1, but then they denied the Tier 1.
That's true. Which is, in essence, defending the Tier 1.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end.
Exactly. Because you're going to lose it on the next push anyway. And I think oftentimes you can get baited into continuously defending your T1. Oh my god, Kuku's so annoying.
I think you're right, though. I mean, we've seen position 4 Lesh as well, but obviously in the 3 position, you're going to get the Diabolic Edict a little bit faster in terms of leveling it up, but he has done a lot of work to these towers this game.
Yeah, you can just do this because your time is worthless as an offlaner. It's so much fun. You can run around and suicide and side lanes and people chasing you, and it's not really worth it for them to chase you because you're such a low farm priority. Like, Carl's getting so huge on Viper.
He's actually going to finish the Hurricane Pike first. A lot of times we see the Dragon Lance into other things.
Yeah, against the
before finishing
Razor.
it.
Static Link, as well as
True.
getting away from the PL, who's maybe going to defusal him, Enchantress Enchant. You can force people out of the Centaur stun, too. Usually that ability is on, like, 1 or 2 heroes. You never really see these, like, big 5-man stomps that often.
Well, DM looking for... I'm not sure if he's actually shown the Blink Dagger for the Centaur, but see if they can find some sort of initiation play here. I mean, they have a lot of relatively low cooldowns, I want to say, for VP, so it's not like one of these lineups that you have to just reset after a big fight for a long period of time, at least. There's the Blink initiation. They find it. The Sentry a little bit late, but Zephyr is getting pressured here, and yeah, nobody really nearby, but they don't have Dust, and no more Sentries to speak of. So Blink is now shown officially.
This is something that I've seen a lot during the entire major and during this tournament as well. You have these like kind of tanky or hard to kill heroes literally just like sitting at the perimeter of where the enemy team is standing, like close enough that if they go on you, you can survive, and far enough away.
Oh, 23 Savage, the Arctic Burn with the Hoof Stomp Stampede to follow, and the Curse, but the heals coming out from Whitemon, that's going to scare VP away.
That's a pretty cool bait, or a pretty cool play there, though, from VP. I don't think they ever intended to kill him. There was no damage dealer there. They were legitimate. I mean, maybe using the Winter's Curse is a little committal, but still, it's cool to see that like they know they don't have any damage dealer.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, they just did use 2 ultimates, so that's probably not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, the Stampede, relatively low cool. It used to be a lot lower. It's gone up 20 seconds over the last, I know this by heart, by the way, 20 seconds in the last year. Feels pretty bad, but you do get that talent, the minus 20 seconds at level 20.
This is the literal most boring offlaner, and it does not surprise me you know everything about it.
That's right, Zephyr. Well, he knows that there's a Sentry here now, but he is more than fine, and he is, of course, working on the patented Brown Boots Aghanim Scepter, which we saw so often at the Major. And it had a very powerful effect.
Nyx's Aghanim Scepter with a Leshrac is the most toxic thing ever. It is legitimately just like 30 seconds
Less
straight.
shard, I mean.
Yes,
right?
with the less shard in the late game. It is 30 seconds straight of chain stun, and you cannot go high ground against these heroes. You can't play into an area against these heroes, and so much of Dota is about area control right now. Like I was saying with Zephyr, kind of playing in front of the enemy team, but far enough away where he could survive. It's like he is just extending his team's ability to farm by doing that, because they're going to go on him first.
That's actually an interesting point, though, because VP, if you look at their lineup, they don't actually have the greatest high ground push. It's Cuckoo trying to get up the split earth, the Static Link applied, and there's the Winter's Curse, and the heals coming from the side from Whitemon. Will it be enough into the egg to follow likelihood? Nope. They're first going to get the kill onto Cuckoo, so that's a big kill overall for VP as they clean up yet another. And inside this Wukong's command, 23 Savage trying to save Zephyr. He'll do so successfully, but now they're on the retreat. The VP with a 1K deficit here. Looking for this tier 1 tower probably is, I believe, T1 are just out. Carl is invisible, though. Still has Viper Strike. Doppelganger might confuse them a bit here. Oh, Dust is actually popped, but yeah, he's out of range now.
Oh, the Sentry, I see it. That's so funny. The VP's just punishing Cuckoo. Oh, is he going for
Zephyr.
it?
Oh, the Doppelganger before the Impale comes out. Boundless Strike does connect, but yeah, T1 just out of steam here in this particular fight. But yeah, talk to me about this high ground push potential.
Here,
see the impact move.
Cuckoo. Why?
Yeah, he's in the middle of nowhere, for sure.
Okay.
That is a long Static Link. I mean, that's the beauty of this combo as well. That's something we didn't really mention. You can get a free Static Link pretty much every time if you want.
He's doing like 300 damage per hit. I love seeing this in like professional matches, because I do the same feeding shit on the Shrek. Just running at towers like, guys, I can get it, I swear. There's somebody just literally sitting in the trees waiting for you to go in there.
And he's actually going for Essence Shroud next for the Leshrac. Is Carl working on a BKB? But once we get to this point of the game when the Shard is online for Lesh, the Ags is online for Zephyr's Nyx Assassin, you have Wukong's Command, you have Egg going high ground. Like, Centaur can tank the tower at the very least, but in terms of building hitters, not the best.
That's another reason why I think DM probably will end up building into hearts and tanky items in the late game, just because...
Against the Sunray even?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Sunray's enough to... Like, what else are you going to go? I mean, I suppose you could go for some Satanic if you if you think you're going to be right-clicking people.
Or you could get Ags to go up high ground on a different path than you're used to, and then initiate on them in the back.
That's so smart.
That's right.
That's
we have
really
the Impale. Viper Strike to follow. This looks like the death of DM. Gets off the Stampede, but really to not much avail. But it looks like VP still want to fight here. We see the Impetus going to work with White Mom. It looks like he's going to survive. A nice split earth, keeping save in place, and that is a double kill for Carl. We'll see if they push after the fact. But yeah, and on the other side, T1, they have a really good push. We talked about Diabolic Edict. I mean, they have a lot of good team fight as well, but with Viper potential shard, that's minus armor to the towers, that's, I mean, if you lose one fight, this is a super fast Rax for sure. You see this beautiful spike carapace. I mean, this is the reason that, this is literally the reason Nyx is picked, both for the, obviously the invis giving you a lot of vision and whatnot, but the spike carapace has got to be the #1 skill.
And once again, it's just the two supports setting up. Every single fight is just this, is just the support setting up, and then Viper TP's in and is the damage source. So it's really cool to see supports carry like this.
As we see Whitemon here. Working on the... Oh, actually, is he actually working on that? Yeah.
Holy Locket.
He's getting the Holy Locket as well. So we get the heal strat versus the anti-heal strat / heal strat themselves to some degree.
Is Enchantress going Holy Locket as well?
Not yet.
Dragonlance
going for BKB, but
more of a position for...
I'm sure Wyvern will get it at some point after the Glimmer. In all likelihood. I mean, he does have
that thing is
the all-important Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, of course. That thing's getting nerfed into the ground, Holy Locket.
Oh, yeah.
I think just Vitality Booster and Energy Booster need to be nerfed.
I mean, maybe the build will be changed.
Fluffy hats as well. Have you noticed that every single support in this tournament and the Animajor, if they have open slots, it's like fluffy hats or cloaks. Like, they're never open slots anymore.
Yeah, but that's probably a byproduct of the fact that everybody's getting more gold in general, right? Because if it's not that, it's always going to be some item you're going to have in your inventory.
That's true. Also, just the fact that they're such cheap HP. Bracer, like, you didn't really want the other stats from Bracer anyway. Supports are buying it for the HP.
Yeah, true.
A Fluffy Hat is just that, except cheaper.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what kind of patch update we get for sure. But Nightfall has the hood.
He's a big boy.
Almost done with the Manta style. Yeah, he is a quite large individual.
He's gotten large.
In this game, at least. Yeah. He's top net worth, but not too far behind is the Monkey King. He's at Stampede. Zephyr gets off the Spike Carapace, but Hoof Stomp will still connect, and that should set up a freebie for VP. One more Spirit Lance will do it. Into the Doppelganger, and down he goes. So at what point in this build for PL do you go for Shard? Do you wait for Aether Lens? Do you... I mean, obviously you can't... I mean, it's 21 minutes, so you could get Shard next, theoretically.
I think next item he'll probably pick up a Shard. I think you go for the Shard whenever it passes the 20-minute mark, essentially, and you're not, you know, building into another item. Like maybe Yasha Shard would have been fine, but like it just passed 21 minutes, and you know he's already got the full Manta, so he's like, oh, okay, I'll just go for it next.
Oh, DM with the initiation. Will they be able to take out Cuckoo before the counter initiation comes? Wukong's command from above though. 23 Savage gets cursed, and DM is gonna pay for his insolence. Looks like nobody from T1 is really in peril here. Cuckoo a little bit low, but he's pretty far away as the egg is providing a lot of space. And it looks like T1 want to retreat now.
They pressed all their spells. Flushes out of mana. On the flip side, though, if you're VP, you can't fight without the Centaur ulti. It's so important for the disengage that you mentioned. Like that to me looks like a really easy or a way to win team fights in this game is to disengage from these eggs and Wukong's commands. And now that Centaur's back up, I think you can go smoke and take a fight. And it's pretty likely, well, maybe without the curse, it's a little awkward.
I mean, it's a little awkward also that Centaur's the guy that has to initiate for you as well.
It is, yeah, it's strange. It's strange.
And if you're gonna initiate, you kind of want to use Stampede at the same time. So yeah, you got to play it a little bit differently for sure. It's a 3K net worth lead now for T1.
Radiant are scanning.
But overall, the farm discrepancy, it's not like it's basically the mid laners are the biggest discrepancy, the Razor and the Viper. That's where essentially the lead is for the most part. As you can see, successful hoof stomp onto Cuckoo, and with the Centaur coming in as well just to help out a bit.
Cuckoo's a literal maniac. Walking
creating space.
That is some Shrek chaos right there.
I mean, the cool thing about this hero is you can not be that farmed. You can die a bunch of times, but you still get decent farm at the very least, right?
I think it functions really well too with a lot of the more supporty items like the Eternal Shroud, and a Yule Scepter is not, it's not as expensive as something like a BKB or a Heart, obviously, but it gives you a decent amount of tankiness on Leshrac.
Zephyr only 100 gold away essentially from finishing Ags, and that's going to change. I feel like the complexion of this game. I mean, Roche, we haven't even talked about yet in terms of what team has the Roche advantage, but if there's a Nyx Assassin with all this AoE between Phoenix and the Monkey King, it's going to be pretty hard for VP to fight into that.
Yeah, you probably need... if you're VP, you probably need T1 to press their ultis before you can take Roche, but even then, there's a lot of poke coming from like the Nyx Ags and the Lesh. Like, once again, going back to area control, I think T1's lineup is better at that. But VP, if they can get the right initiation, they do have a lot of chase potential with the PL. He can just chase forever and keep killing people, and then Razor's gonna have like plus 300 damage.
Oh, we have the initiation yet again. Wukong's command is out, but it's not gonna be able to save Cuckoo. Winter's Curse to follow. Look at the damage to Nightfall. He's trying to get out with that doppelganger. Will be successful for now, but the egg right next to him, he definitely cannot kill it, so just has to run, and now being chased by the Monkey King. And here's the counter initiation again. DM does get the successful hoof stomp off. 23 Savage getting all his damage stolen. Gets off the Jingu finally, but the Boundless Strike only hits one. Not a whole lot of heal other than from Whitemon. It looks like it's going to be his death as a result. So 2 for nothing. Impetus coming through. Not enough to take out the Phoenix in the meantime. Zephyr showing off his Aghanim Scepter, but he is left all alone. All the damage reduction in the world will not save you there. Beautiful fight from VP.
Yeah, amazing kiting from them. With the PL having a defusal and with Razor like literally stealing damage throughout the entire fight, they really want to take these long fights, especially if you can retreat to a high ground like that where you have vision down already. I mean, that's perfect. That's exactly where you want to fight. Cuckoo, once again.
Yeah, dies right away again.
A little ballsy and doesn't really have the items to be running in face first like that.
I thought Nightfall would die here, though, regardless. Winter's Curse definitely saved him for a bit. Egg forces him out, and 23 Savage puts himself in a bit of harm's way here.
Yeah, great hood pickup from Nightfall, too. If he doesn't have that item, he's dead there.
Yeah, I mean, he had the Jingu stacks up and then didn't Boundless Strike until after the procs were done already, so didn't get any heal out of it.
He had got all of his damage stolen, too, so I think even with the Jingu, he was going to heal for nothing. It's a really awkward situation, and it's exactly the situation that you want to force if you're VP. And the spell casting that they needed to do to force that,
look at that.
It's not easy.
Look at that, Jenkins.
Oh my god.
What do you have to say for yourself, young man?
All right. Well, nobody should be listening.
Stampede. They're going to find Whitemon. Hoof stomp, double edge. Kaboom. Kaboom. Nightfall gets the credit for that. So Aghanim Scepter, at least for now, will be in DM's inventory.
Can I say something here? I really hate birds.
You hate birds?
It's satisfying to me. I hate birds. I think the tweeting is very annoying. There's this bird that sits on my window in the mornings at like 3 a.m. And tweets into the window, and it's very annoying.
Thank you for sharing that information.
I scare it away every single day.
Well, speaking of birds, I have no segue. That was so bad. PL dies. That's the age. He's actually completely surrounded. Monkey King gets off the Wukong's command, and yeah, VP just have to leave their PL. That is not how you want to use the Aegis. He is dead for 60 seconds, and now the chase with the tree dance. 23 Savage, like a bird on the trees. Does he have enough damage? No.
So beautiful.
Save gets away.
That was so good.
Thank you.
I think VP just overestimating a little bit their strength after taking that really nice fight previously. Once again, the execution that they had to do to get that fight in their favor was hard. It was really hard. And, doesn't necessarily mean that you can run at towers against this Lesh plus Nyx. As we talked about, this might be the single greatest duo for defending towers in the entire game currently. So you need to be damn sure that you're strong if you're going to run at their tier 2s.
Yeah, I wonder what the best 5 would be. That would be an interesting list to put together. Invoker would have to be on there at some point, right?
For like high ground defending?
Yeah.
There's the obvious ones like Zeus and Tinker, but
Tinker's pretty annoying too, yeah.
But if you catch him, it's all over.
23 Savage with a Boundless Strike. Will find save. Question is, will he get the kill this time around with the help of Whitemon? Stampede to follow, though. 23 Savage just going to TP out. Will be successful to dive away. Zephyr and Cuckoo will likely fall here, though. So a little bit of miscommunication potentially from T1. And VP gets some pretty value. I mean, Cuckoo is position 3. He's died a lot this game.
He's having a tough one, and I think I think
He's not a big boy.
he's not a big juicy boy this game. I think a decent item for him would be like a Glimmer Cape. You often see offlaners who are not having such a good game going for something like this, but he's just going for the full greed. He's going for a Bloodstone. He thinks that he's not going to get punished for this, which is an interesting choice, but it is reflected in a lot of other of T1's games. They're a big Doom picking team, and that hero.
Oh, mid dive, nice hoof stomp from DM. They do have egg though.
They don't once again, it's not damage dealers, but I do like that DM and Kingslayer are running around and just forcing things. Like this time, they don't use the ult, so it's not as bad as like the top time. But just the idea in general of like making the enemy team scared of you for entering into an area is really good.
Yeah, we have the Mindbreaker now in the PLs. We see 23 Savage wind up his ultimate into the Boundless Strike. Cold Embrace is going to save DM for now. Winter's Curse to follow. This will give him a lot of space. DM just barely gets out with his life. Cuckoo is surviving inside that Wukong's command, and now the chase is on for T1. They're going to focus on Carl. Gets that static link off with the BKB to follow. GPK has a BKB of his own. We see the Boundless Strike, or the Jingu Mastery, I should say, proc. And that's a 1-for-1 exchange to start things out. Nightfall deep within the tier 2 tower right now. He does not have Aegis. He does have Heart, but he's extremely tanky right now. And fight might actually just break up here. So the two mid laners end up dying.
Yeah, 1-for-1, but directly in front of the T1 base. So if you're VP, you're pretty happy with that. You get a tower. And you know that they have this added strength of like the tower aura. They've got the tower doing damage. They've got the TP locations. And so if you're winning fights here for VP, you're really happy about this.
And we can see that. Back to Centaur watch, Jenkins.
Of
Very
course.
important. He has the point booster.
Okay.
So
Well, he could be building a Scotty. with
nah,
that,
nah,
you
nah.
know?
On Centaur? What?
All right, here, let me bail myself out here.
Okay, sure.
Here's the thing. GPK's popping off on this Razor, okay? He's dead, I know. Let's relax on that, guys. That's not a big deal. 1-for-1 trade. But he's going to carry the game. And PL does not have an Aghanim Shard. Why do I have this job? Why am I here?
Yeah, well, PL going for the... I mean, it was a 50-50 at the beginning of the game, right? Which kind of a build is he going for? But yeah, he's going for the more... I mean, it's a tanky... this is the traditional build.
Of course, it's just so obvious. There's not much illusion clear on the enemy team.
I mean, I took your word for it. I mean, again, the Aetherlands build is pretty strong.
Here's the
We've
thing.
seen it a lot.
I'm a stupid offlane player. I don't... These carry players, they know the math. You know, they're much better than we are here. They know the math on what a Heart is going to give them in the game, and if they can survive versus the magical damage. And his read on it looks to be right. In that last fight, he was very tanky. Couldn't even tell like which one was a real PL.
That's right. We have a 4-man smoke now from T1, and we won't know when Roshan is up for a bit here. Looks like we're going to find Save, who has a BKB already on the Enchantress. My goodness. Winter's Curse. It's a solo one for now, though, as the disengage is there with the Stampede. Talked about that before. VP taking full advantage of that. It's going to cost the egg already. Viper pops the BKB. Carl's in a lot of trouble. Staying alive for now, but the static link still applied, and GPK in the end finally gets the kill. But now he's put himself a little bit in harm's way. Has no save for him.
It's
Zephyr
another
with a nice stun.
1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1 again on the mid laners, but the question is, will this turn into more? Hoof Stomp comes in, a nice dodge from 23 Savage. He gets the Boundless Strike up. He is doing so much damage. Look at this stun from Zephyr. Again, huge Ravage, essentially. And T1 turning this around again. Kingslayer inside the trees. Split Earth connects. Give it to Zephyr. Damn it. He should have gotten it. That's the MVP of that fight. My God.
Okay, another reason that Zephyr's a literal god is that in every single one of these fights, do you see how this PL has absolutely no mana? He's just chain mana burning him every fight.
Yeah, true.
And it sounds like, oh, well, that's easy. Well, not against PL. You don't know which one's the real goddamn PL. So he not only the PL can't doppel the beautiful Ravage stun because he has no mana, as we see.
Yeah, we got 8 seconds for the impact move here.
Yep.
Just wait for it.
I honestly think the mana burn is more impactful because he can't doppel.
Yeah, that was a mischief attempt at the dodge there. And Save is literally on top of him, and I think he gets stunned out of this too, right?
Does.
Why does Impale work behind you? Why?
And it's also very conveniently Whitemon. All right, we keep praising these supports, and they just keep doing more and more to impress us.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the caster curse. I don't know what the caster blessing this game.
They were like in sync. The line of the Phoenix Sunray was just right on top of the Ravage.
Yeah.
Conveniently.
Very convenient. Almost like it was planned.
But once again, the mana burn to me was just really sick. Like the PL had Doppelganger, and if he survives because he dodges the stun, they could win the fight.
Yeah.
PL does enough damage to kill everybody.
Yeah, so now T1 with a 5K net worth lead, and we'll find out when Roshan spawns in the next 10 seconds. That's obviously going to be a big deal. As, I mean, we talked about the shards in this game, but Leshrac shard is really good. We talked about Viper. If you want to go high ground, it's a really good one. We're going to see a fight. Looks like Save might take a tumble here. Cold Embrace is going to keep him alive for now, but you can see the pseudo counter in the Sunray coming through. Nice Winter's Curse to disengage. Might actually buy enough space for VP to chillax and reset here. Sending out some illusions. Still using the cover the Wukong's command, but now VP. Perhaps they want to fight now that that big ult is down. Zephyr.
He's just still there. He doesn't.
Yeah, he gets
immortal.
the mana burn, the impale. Now getting surrounded. Hoof Stomp is there. Balance Strikes is going to save him for a little bit here. Spike Carapace in that AoE. And look at this. Centaur has nothing to work with now. Cold Embrace. Now you're stuck within the midst of T1 as an entire team. Centaur is not tanking in that situation.
Is Carl just solo killing Kingslayer here?
He is doing a lot from basically global range there, right? The global range attacks from Carl.
Absolutely.
Enchanted Quiver on top of the Hurricane Pike. Good, clean stuff. I think he has a talent for that too, right? Let's see if I'm right. Yep, 100 attack range. I knew it.
Of course, you are the Viper expert.
Played a few games of Viper in my day. 60% win rate with this talent. It's good stuff. Basically a 50-50 though on the pick rate.
It should be higher. It should be a higher pick rate after the major and after this tournament. The right-clicking, like tower-taking Viper seems a lot better. Like, he doesn't even have the shard because he doesn't feel like he needs it. They're not really looking to push, and if they do push, they already have a Leshrac and a Monkey King.
Good attempt from Zephyr on that Spike Carapace. I mean, that's the thing about this Nyx Assassin, just as a hero concept that makes him so strong, is if you have any AoE on the other team, a Spike Carapace just gets the stun, and that could just be the end of the game in a lot of cases.
Yep. Or you get the Aghanim Scepter. You don't even need to stun somebody off of the Spike Carapace. It just becomes an AoE stun with that thing.
True.
And the follow-up from Leshrac, like, they have so much chain stun. Even without the Lesh Shard, we saw how much chain stun they had in that fight on the Centaur. He couldn't move.
All right. Looks like Roche number 2 going T1's way for now, but VP might be coming. It's going to be a little bit too late with that Zephyr stun coming out again. GPK gets his BKB off. He gets the static link as well, but they have to stampede away. There's no way they can fight into this. Becoming a regen rune just for a bit. Don't think they're going to be fooled by that. As yeah, the Viper, as we kind of expected, taking, it was between him and the Lesh, but Lesh has just been, you know, he's a position 3. He can get it at some point himself, but you get the poison attack on buildings and the minus armor applied to it.
It does seem like they have enough area control right now, and now they just want to take towers.
23 Savage finds save. Oh, popping that BKB and just running away.
He's a gem, so that BKB.
Yeah, true.
Very nice. I think...
2 seconds faster. My goodness.
Wow,
what a record.
What a stat.
Speedrun BKB from Miss Enchantress herself. Great stuff.
You don't see it often, but I do think BKB on supports is underrated, and it's really cool that he went for the gem immediately after picking up the BKB because he knows that there currently isn't anything to stop his BKB TP, so the gem's never going to be lost.
But he won't have BKB for this potential fight here. 23 Savage with that BKB. Plenty of time to work with. And just pounding into this minus armor tower now, thanks to Carl on the backside. And Zephyr, he's going to get Winter's Curse. Okay. A lot of damage reduction. You can see the heal coming out from Whitemon. They're going to apply all their pressure to him if they can. The question is it going to be enough? Zephyr looks to be falling here, so that's going to be a good pickup for VP. The egg with the Sunray just a little bit too late, but even if they lose Zephyr, perhaps they can still fight. No. T1 now on the run. Nice stun from DM on the back line. GPK trying to go in, but the Wukong's command is enormous with this 25 talent. And DM just dies. Split Earth connects on the Kingslayer. I think with that now, potentially can push, but the buyback down to the Wyvern. He's already used his ultimate. Faking out this balance strike. Will finally use it to connect. Static Link is applied still. Better be careful for 23 Savage here as Cuckoo gets off the Split Earth. Not going to connect it on anybody though. 23 Savage with that Jingu Mastery. Nice Cold Embrace, but the Sunray to counter it. Will it be enough? It's going to be pretty close. dives away to safety, but GPK finds his way to the grave regardless. Finally, Nightfall, in the midst of things, finally gets that Phoenix kill, but it's going to cost him so much here. And Nightfall with barely any mana to work with, focusing on a Cuckoo. 23 Savage again with a Boundless Strike. He just, I mean, he still has the Aegis and still has this mega farm, trying to find the right illusion, and Cuckoo looks to be falling to Nightfall. Gets off that Ghost Scepter, but it's going to delay the inevitable here. So VP do hold, technically speaking. Did cost some buybacks. They don't lose racks.
Yeah, that was an interesting fight. A whole lot of T1 wanting to get out after Zephyr died, and then VP recognizing that without him, a large portion of their disable is gone for the fight. And then T1 was just like protecting their back lines as they were trying to retreat. I don't think they really wanted to fight that. It was just like, okay, this guy's overcommitted, so let's go on the Razor. He's overcommitted, and then that basically results in T1 overcommitting, and then VP goes and they go with the Razor and they kill everybody else. It's just very awkward, and it kind of all started from Zephyr playing on the high ground there. But I think if you're in Burrow and that happens,
is he actually getting this?
You don't want to exit Burrow. Is he getting what? Rapier?
Yeah, he went back and forth between MKB and Rapier. Obviously, I mean, there is a butterfly on 23 Savage. So MKB would make a lot of sense, and obviously Rapier does not give True Strike anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like PL is one of the worst Divine Rapier carries in the game.
It is, but you do get a crit talent at level 25.
That is true.
I'm not sure if he is, maybe he'll go for that. We'll see. I think if he's going for the Rapier, he probably will go for that.
Yeah, we can see that most of the pickups are for the Doppelganger cooldown. Pretty overwhelmingly so.
I do agree with the sentiment, though, that he's really thinking about it, that they need damage. They need something big to win this game, because even when they're playing the fights extremely well, as he goes for the 4-second Doppelganger cooldown, thank you very much, Nightfall. I will not be here tomorrow.
So Divine Rapier. Okay.
I feel like they need it. I really do. I think even if you're taking these fights that are going really well for VP, they're really hard to execute, and they're just long and painful, and they're not something that feels reliable. And then even if you win these fights, imagine going high ground into this Nyx plus Lesh. They haven't even dealt with that yet, and that's the hardest part to deal with of T1's draft.
2.5-second cooldown, another Toxin.
Very reasonable stuff there.
Yeah, the 25 talent and the Spell Prism. All right, 23 Savage gets Hoof Stomp, but we do see the Force Staff to safety here. So no Divine quite yet. About 1,000 away from being able to finish it. And again, it's a PL, so I'm not even sure how strong that is. I mean, we'll see. And I think the idea behind the Doppelganger cooldown for this game is if you lose the Divine Rapier, you die.
Yeah.
The Doppelganger, I mean, that's a great safety measure for yourself.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense.
Oh, the Spike Carapace is going to keep the Razor in place into the right clicks from 23 Savage, but there is the Aghanim Scepter Stampede coming through with all that damage reduction to come. Nightfall, well, the Phoenix staying alive for now. Not able to get off Egg, though, so a nice first kill for VP. See if the buybacks come through on T1 side or not. Split Earth will connect, though. This will be a huge kill. Big impale on the two heroes. And it looks like DM takes the tumble first. Cold Embrace did save the PL for the time being, but Nightfall just doesn't do enough damage to actually make a difference there. GPK just getting chased by Cuckoo, who's been dying all game. And we actually will live thanks to that Yules. 23 Savage now in enemy lines is so tanky himself with that butterfly.
Like a fast
trying to dodge a little bit here. And of course, the rest of his team on the backside, Zephyr continuing to get these big impales out. Cold Embrace not able to withstand this damage. Boundless Strike is there. And finally, save will go down. So it's now a 4 versus 3. They do get that full set of racks in the bot lane. And it looks like they're just going to reset.
Yeah, they need mana on their heroes for T1. So it does make sense to back off there. I don't think your high ground siege is particularly hard. You just literally hit with the Viper from 2,000 range away. And my God, Cuckoo. He goes for this like greedy build, and it's absolutely paying off. 23 Bloodstone charges, and he's got the Invis cape.
That's after
too.
he died a bunch of times.
Yes, yeah. So, like, he accepted that he was going to die a lot in the early game, and then decided that his late game is going to go really well. He's going to build
maybe now
game.
I'll get very tanky. Yeah.
We have the Rapier now.
Okay, Rapier online for Nightfall. He is hard to kill, has a Doppelganger talent like we talked about, has BKB, has Heart, but again, not a typical Divine Rapier type hero.
No. The question is, who does he need to blow up first with this? He's not going to blow up Monkey King, because the Wukong's, I think, is going to protect you, even through Rapier damage. I guess Cuckoo's not bad to blow up, but he's got a Ghost Scepter and an Invis Cape, so he's not going to be easy to kill either. Zephyr's got Ghost Scepter, he's got Neon Disc.
And so I think something we haven't really talked about is fighting for Nightfall is actually, when the BKB is down, the Nether Toxins that are going to be all over the battlefield, you can't create new illusions in that. So
Yeah, those don't matter so much now, though, that he has the Rapier.
that's true. He's basically just like a regular carry now.
That is a cool idea, though, that you're not able to spawn illusions, so you're just not playing based off the illusions anymore. Just get a Rapier, go raw damage, going for the Abyssal, too. Obviously, your illusions don't benefit from that either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had the Shard queued up, but changed his mind here.
Yeah, at this
Just
point.
wants to go with against everything that you said in the early game.
Yeah, maybe that is the idea, is that he's just like, my illusions are going to die anyway, so I'm just going to be a regular carry, Agi carry, which is a cool concept.
Yeah, and this next, they're getting scanned right now, so. T1 do know this could be the game-ending fight here. 23 Savage, Balanced Strike came out.
Oh, that's a big item on Monkey King, or a big rune on Monkey King.
Oh, Nightfall. Oh, he's in a lot of trouble. It's already at half HP. Pops the BKB. They now see the Divine Rapier. Do they have the damage to actually finish off? Big Wukong's command to come out. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange to start things out just on supports. All right, he's beating the crap out of his own teammate here, but it looks like Cuckoo will survive with that Bloodstone thereafter. Nice Impale from Zephyr yet again. There's the Balanced Strike. They really want this Divine Rapier onto Nightfall. Attempting to get out at half HP again, and Carl is coming. They're going to get, yep, into the trees we go. And this, oh, nice doppelganger, but you can see the Jingu stacks coming through. A nice stun from Centaur saving, but Zephyr again. The Impales have just been...
That's got to be game. Yeah, that's game.
So on point this game. It was a good last-ditch effort, but just didn't work out for VP. T1 played crispy this game.